So, I am recording this video here just at the first of the year. I did get my tripod in, just like that. Although I kind of put the cart before the horse slightly. I wanted to do this nice unraveling and testing of this Model 95, but I'll go to put this camera phone onto the tripod there, and there's no way I can see it. And in order to see what I'm actually doing, I'd have to hook it up to this monitor here, like I have done in past videos. So that requires a USB-C to HDMI cable, and I don't know if it'll actually display correctly while it's recording. Anyway, I'm going to give it a shot. But that's in the mail, and in the meantime, I'm waiting. Quiet. In the meantime, I am going to be opening this up and at least show you the inside of her in glorious 4K. I hope this is not shaky, but I'm going to do my best. So, without further ado, let's get her cracked open and let's have a look inside of her. And then we'll see exactly what I need to do to get her working. To open these machines, first off is this guy right here. This one is currently in the locked state. But as you might have noticed, it is not locked. I can still do it one-handed. That is because the next person before me has disabled the lock. So if you ever get one like that, that's the reason. You got to defeat that lock. I don't know exactly how off the top of my head, but until I get to that, we'll have, let's see. We have on the outside, this started off as a 8595 0HF, which is some low 486. I don't have it in front of me. It was in the last video. But, set that down. I got the 3 hard drives back in it. I don't know if I reconnected them. That's why I'm opening it. I wanted to see if I could remember if I reconnected the drives or not. Besides, I'm going to be getting into this thing anyway, because there's never, ever, ever, ever going to work right the first time. Come on. Ew, it's a Band-Aid. Grody. Ew. Anyway, I did not reconnect the power, but that's okay. I want to take everything out of this to start it first, and then we can go from there. I gotta move this onto the other side of this thing because of reasons. Okay, so I got everything out of her. Everything's unplugged, including the drives. The only thing that are plugged in are the floppy drives still because I can't be bothered. Left the video card in with the nastiness on top. That might be why it didn't post when we tried it. Now, for care and feeding of your IBM, especially these guys right here, you never want to tighten these tightens very tight. You really want to be, I don't want to say kid gloves, they're not that fragile, but I did replace the battery, by the way. When you go to put these back in, you just, take your time, make sure it's seated properly. But this here, you don't want to crank this ever down. So that's it. That's it. You don't want to, no, bad. You strip it out, you'll break the thing. That's all the tighter you ever want to do it. Moving along, let's go ahead and get her plugged in. Okay, now she is ready for action. I got her a keyboard on top. I got a list of air codes ready. I also decided to put a fan near the processor and wire it up to power. This is a good idea for this particular system. In the Model 90, there is a fan right about here that sits there and blows across the processor card. This one does have a fan, but its connections are right here, and the fan is actually this, turn this around, little squirrel cage on the door with this foam. But yeah, so when you have the side off, it is advisable to at least, watch the heat. If you have if you have a 486 complex, it's probably not going to matter that much unless you're running it for more than, a few minutes. But with a Pentium 90, like what's in here, or better yet, the Pentium 60, yeah, you want to have a fan on that at all times. So I just took one of my spare fans, took it in the adapter, clank, and put the adapter on right there, which is really convenient. Isn't that nice? I hope it's either 5 volt or 12 volt. It's either going to spin normally or it's not going to spin fast enough. Or anyway, fuck it. Let's go ahead and get this going. So. Okay. So what do we got here? So it's doing its checkpoints. It's at 5.8. I'm not seeing anything on the screen. Oh. Is it still? Oh, it's moving. Alright. 173 error, that's okay. 173 is a bad checksum, that's okay. It's trying to boot. Why am I not getting video out? $173 again. Okay. But no video out. I think that video card is gonski. Well, there's only one remedy for that, and that's a backup card. Okay, so this is the video card that I took out. Now, that is not nice looking. That has all the telltale signs of rat piss. So I am just going to set this to the side. For all I can tell, the card slot is okay. It's not like you can really poke your eyes in there and tell. I mean, there's nothing obviously wrong. But let's give this a shot. Wait, does this thing... this might not even work. I don't know if this will output. I guess we're going to find out, aren't we?
Tomorrow for sure.
Okay, well that was fun. You might notice the desk has changed a little bit. I had to put this project up for the night and start over the next, well not start over, but start again the next day. Because I could not find a replacement video card. I knew I have them, but I searched and I searched and I searched and none of my boxes had a replacement video card in them, so I was like, crap. So what I had to do was I had to break out my 95 over there, underneath there, and I had to pull its video card out, which is an XGA1. I have an XGA2 in the 95 right over there. So I'm going to put this one in, and we're going to give this a shot. Alrighty, I got it in, got power, and let's go ahead and good. That's good. Hey, hey! She lives. So whatever happened to that video card is the reason it stopped working. Oh, it's going to want a floppy disk. Oh, where'd that one go I had from yesterday? 173, that's normal. 163, that's normal. Let's see. Type 4 complex. reference disk. That floppy drive seems to work just fine. And we have, ta-da! That is a pretty screen. Let's see. F8, enter, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Now, the only thing that's in there is the actual card and the SCSI card. I don't have any of the SCSI drives hooked up at the moment. That's going to be step number 2. I'm happy to see that it's booting. I'm really happy that that it was just a video card. That means I'm in the market for a video card now. Or I gotta see if I can't repair that one. It's worth repairing. Okay. Actually, let's see that in there. Yeah, it'd be a good thing if the 173163 air is cleared. All right. Let's see. $112 megabytes. 3264. Okay, so I know there's 216s, 232s. That's 96. And then, how do you get? Okay, okay. It doesn't. It's not seeing the drive. Oh, it's not seeing the 5 1/4 inch drive because it probably haven't disconnected from power. So let's see. Okay. Let's get the SCSI hard drives plugged into her while the fan runs, and we'll see how that works. As I'm pulling out this thing here, I got that loose. Sometimes it's a little bit easier just to take out this power supply just to get to the cables. Is it really necessary? No. I can swing this down if I had more room. But this is what we're going to do for now. I'm going to take out this one screw and get the little piece of metal out of the way. I'm going to then proceed to lose this screw and gently Pull it down, just like so. Slide it out, and it's out. Just like that. Oh, God, this thing's heavy. Ugh. It is, for those who care, late 1991. Looks like it's a 332 watt. Okay, well, that's neither here nor there, so gently set this down without breaking that plastic. But yeah, two nice little pins that it hinges on, and then you just put that back on when you're done. And that just holds it in. That's it. Really, really easy to work on. But let's go ahead and get those. I can do it on this here. So now that the power supply is out of the way, go ahead and do the back cables first. It looks like it was these. Yep. Those look like they designed to go there. Alright. Okay, so that one's back in. These are just standard power cables. Well, standard. You can remake these if you want. It's just the same connection that goes onto the whatever it's called. Let's hook this one up then. Nope. It's in. So you assemble computers for a while, and it just becomes second nature just to do it one-handed. Giggity. Alright, so this one's going to go. Framing is sucks. Okay, so those three are in. So this one obviously went to the CD drive. Let's go plug that in there. So I got 3 hard drives. See, I think it went just like this. Now I'm leaving it the way it was originally connected. I'm not changing anything just yet. So obviously it probably worked before it was decommissioned and stopped using it. So I'm going to try it as it was. And then I can play with it. Let me just... Come on. Come on. There we go. At least they plug in easy. That's usually not the case for 50-pin SCSI. It's usually an issue and a half just to plug and unplug things. Alright, I'm going to need 2 hands for this. I'm going to get the power supply back in it. And with the magic of editing and putting the phone down, it's all now installed. Modular power supply, eat your heart out, back in 1991. Yeah, when IBM actually tried to be nice, they were damn good at it. So let's go ahead and fire up. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and plug it in, and then fire it up. And drops the power cable. Should I put a mouse on it just in case it boots? Let's put a mouse on it just in case it boots. Just in case it boots. I want to have one plugged in. That goes there. Yeah, good enough. Alright, let's try this now. There we go. Don't you just love the sound of SCSI in the morning? Well, technically evening, but... I gotta let's see. Go right into setup. I know it's gonna complain about hard drives. While that's booting, I just want to have a bit of fun. CF8, enter, enter, set config, and one of those drives does not sound happy at all. Well, that works. Yeah, one of those drives is definitely bad. Okay, let's set and so it's not finding any of the SCSI drives. There's a shocker. Well, let me put the terminator on it and try again. I didn't like the sound of that at all. Good. Good. Okay, that took a long time for that to come up that I had to pause the video. So there was a timeout on one of the SCSI drives. Probably at least one of them is foobar, which is, you know, normal. So hopefully this gets past this in a moment.
Eventually.
There it goes, damn. Taking your sweet time. Okay, configure again. Yeah, whatever. Oh, that's good. I got a 5, a 2, and a 0. So it's going to be... So it's... But it looks like... whatever this ID 0 is not happy. That might be the CD drive. I don't know which one's which. But there should be 4 devices. There's 3. So something's not working. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull off all those little terminators he had on here. I'm going to pull the terminator off of that. I'm going to redo this SCSI chain and I'm going to see if that helps. Okay, so I got the old camera set up at least. At least until because it has a nice little screen that turns around. And I can see what I'm doing. So I can see if I'm in frame. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to take his stuff apart one at a time. And we are going to get this done. I got about it's hard on your fingers. Naturally, the heater turns on. Okay, just unplug that. Set it aside. This down. All right. Okay, so. Unplug the CD drive. And let's see. Now the CD drive is 0. Okay. So that is the last on the chain. On IBM PS2s, it puts the controller at 7, and then the first boot drive is 6. So it does decreasing number. This is contrary to just about every other system that boots from SCSI. It starts at 0 and goes up. The controller's still on 7 usually. So if you ever get into a minefield with SCSI on IBM PS2s, the controller's usually on 7, and it counts down. It's just the way they do it. So, the CD drive was set up as last. It was the last ID, I should say. So it's at 0. That hard drive is there. So that hard drive out. This hard drive out. Yeah. Okay. That disconnected from power. That disconnected from power. This disconnected from power. Push these out from the back. Maybe that'll go. Okay. So it was detecting a 1 gig drive and a 500 meg drive. So this is a 1 gig drive, so it was detecting this one just fine. Go down the... Yeah, that thing's stuck in there. Good. This is a 540 meg drive. It was detecting this one. So it was not detecting the one on the bottom. Yeah. So whatever this guy was not being detected. The Connor. Yeah. Alright. The one drive, I have no idea what the adapter or the thing is. I have to pull this drive up on it real fast. But in the meantime, this one was 101, which is 5? 5. 101 is 5. So this is the second. This would be the D drive. Let's see. This is set up as 010, so this is set up as drive 2. So this is, that Connor was the boot drive. Presumably if it's set to 6. It is not set to 6. I can tell because I see these jumpers, even though I don't know what they are. When you have jumpers right next to each other, like this on these SCSI drives, it's usually to set up the SCSI ID. Like ID 3, jumper 3, 4, 5, right next to each other. So yeah, let's go ahead and have a look around online and see what this one says about it. Okay, so I got this drive pulled up online. Thank you, stashin.org. I was correct. I was just off a number. So on this jumper block right here on the top of my thumb, it's E1, E2, E3 are the jumper settings. Looks like it is 011, and 011 is ID 3. So nothing was set to 6. Okay. Alright, so moving on. E5 is on, and that means the terminators are on. So I am going to turn the termination off on everything except for, I gotta write this shit down, because I started looking at these, not to be distracted, but this drive was 500 megs, and it was, I saw one gig and one 500 meg, and that means one of these two, either the Maxter or the Connor, is not working. So yeah, I'm just going to leave the ID numbers the same, because as long as they're not conflicting. Okay, so I got 5, I got 0, I got 5, I got 2, 0, 5, 2, and 0, 1, 3. Okay, none of them are conflicting, so at the moment I'm just going to leave them the way they are. It's probably going to device 5 and booting from device 5 and going from there. So let's set these up more or less properly. So let's take the last drive, which was 5, and we're going to put 5 at the end of the chain. Now, which one was 5? This one, Maxter, was 5. So we're going to put him at the end of the chain, which is convenient because he has the termination resistors already installed. So this is going to be my termination drive. Now, I'm going to uninstall all these little terminators, or whatever in the Sam Hill is on these things. I don't know what the... Maybe they have a reason, but for right now, terminated drive, end of the chain, bada bing, bada boom. Bada boom, bada bing, whatever. Okay. Moving down, it is good practice to put the next number down, which is 3, but I gotta turn the termination off. Termination is jumper 5 on this drive, so I'm going to take jumper 5 off and no longer terminate it. This is jumper 6. Okay, that's termination power. Okay. So, if you're wondering what termination power is, on some devices, you have to power the bus in order for it to terminate properly. If only some older devices didn't enable it because they just couldn't, where others can. So this is a clear indication right here. This small jumper right next to a fuse, right near the middle of the connector. That because for the bus power is that middle pin right about there. So that's a good clear sign of maybe that's the term power. As long as you have the drive that has the termination, as long as it's providing term power, you should be fine. Not have a problem. And in a cable of this length, it shouldn't really matter anyway. So I'm going to turn it. It's just turn it on, leave it on. You shouldn't have to worry about it. Put it in. Come on. Now, it might have been that those things were on there just to extend the reach, because these things are now... Okay, that's in there. And we are going to put this last drive on. There. So they are now... Put this back in. Gently. Take it in. Now I'm going to leave the CD drive out of this for now. It's just, I should have looked. I didn't look. its termination is disabled and its termination power is disabled. Okay. So the only thing that's on is parity, and that's, yeah, whatever. That's okay for right here, right now. Let's see. This is just to see if we get the hard drive going. I don't need the CD drive for anything right now. So I am just going to pretend it doesn't exist. And I'm not even going to hook it up to power. There's no reason to. Oh, I left it plugged in. Or turned on. You gotta be careful of that switch. That's a soft power switch. Those drives are a lot quieter now. Now, again, I have this huge long wait, this huge pause here. This is kind of telling me that it's timing out on one of these hard drives. So one of these hard drives is definitely Cactus. Okay. It may be trying to find the CD drive. It can't. But either way, I'm going into the configuration menu again. All right. So it's got something. Okay. It's finding 6 now, but it doesn't know how big it is. It's finding 5, 2, and 0. Okay, but it's saying it's not there. So it's saying, should I keep this device on here? I know there was a device here, but now there's not. So I got 2, 5, and 6. I don't remember there being an ID 6. Did I count that wrong? I must have counted that wrong. But it is not coming up properly. So I'm going to enable all 3. See, I was looking for device number 6. So let's save this config. And let's get out of here. Okay, whatever, it's fine. I'm going to double check the termination again. And we're going to... I don't think I turned the termination off on this one. And in fact, did not. So let's unplug that one. Put that back. Okay, so let's try this again. Alright, so it's still... $545 is the one that's working. The 1052 is working. The 6 is still not. Whatever size that is. Alright. So whatever 110 is. Okay, so I'm looking around on these things. And it looks like it's this Connor, the one that's kicked the bucket. So I'm disconnected it from power for now. I still have the terminated bottom drive and the top drive. And I'm just going to start her up and see what happens now. See if it... Because that was the boot drive. And normal, yeah. That was also the loudest of the drives. The other drives sound normal. That's a lot quicker. So whatever it is, that Connor drive is pretty much responsible. So that drive is probably toast. Well, c'est la vie. What are you gonna do, right? Naturally, it has to be the boot drive, which probably has any sort of drivers or anything like that are gone. So let's go ahead and see what this registers. see how fast it's, relatively fast now. So that Connor drive was the one that was not working. So we are going to remove it, and we are going to remove the CD drive, and we are going to save. And we are going to reboot. Now it's not going to boot off of sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. Now I can pull the disc out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to drop in yeah, it should just boot normally. But since drive 6 was most likely the boot drive, and that drive is toast, so it's not going to boot. So I'm going to reboot it here. It should immediately try to boot from the hard drives. It should go to 6.4.3.2.1. Find it, there's nothing bootable, and then we're going about our merry way. I'll go through the Windows 98 disk, and we're going to see if something will happen. Okay, so did not find anything bootable on the remaining 2 drives, naturally. No CD support needed, as I didn't bother to connect it back up. So it found disk E, so that means there's a C and D, which means the other 2 are working fine. It just happens to be the boot disk. Huzzah! Again, I don't know what these are for. Well, I presume that it's for adapting a differential SCSI drive to single-ended. But these are all single-ended drives. The one exception being which one was it? The Maxter drive. The Maxter drive has a jumper setting between single-ended and differential. It was set to single-ended. So it was set correctly. So I don't know what the hell that's all about. But we're booted up, so let's see what we got. Okay, we got IBM Assistant Series, quick menu setup. Huh. Naturally, the CD, okay, the CD mouse driver was not installed, so yeah. Viable software alternatives. Okay, whatever this is. World Populous Movement. Is this a risk thing? Yeah, it's a risk clone. Okay, whatever. Cool as hell, though. Okay. Yeah, this is number 3 now. Okay. Okay, well, that's not. Okay, so that's... So whoever was this had Great Naval Battles 1, 2, 3, and 4. I kind of got a vibe for it. Maybe they like that particular game. This program requires OS2 Presentation Manager. Huh. So was this machine a dual boot? Huh. Or was that just on there? Well, it looks like it's pretty much done for this system. I'm not going to be... Let me go ahead and reboot this. I'm going to put the sound cards back in, and I'm going to see if I can at least do a basic functionality test on each one at a time. I don't know what I'm going to be doing about the other capture card, but I'll figure something out. So let me go ahead and turn you off and get this restarted. Okay, so this is the same disk that I used before on the Windows 90 or the Model 90. SPCon, let's see if it works. Found in slot 4. Looks like it is all. This one mentions firmware revision 1A. I don't remember the last one did. Either way, it's on there, so let's check it out. Well, it makes tones. Well, can't ask for much more than it, can you? Well, let's see if there's anything on the C drive. Anyway, I'm not going to find a game in here that's going to work out of the box, am I? Anyway. It at least made noise. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and see what I can do from there. Well, that is the IBM Model 8595. It is a glorious piece of a machine. I'll have to come back later and test the other sound card and those other 2 cards. But this is just to see the system up and running, get it working. This drive, left the drives out of it for a reason. I'm going to, in the next video, see if I can't put this into a different system and get it imaged off before it completely dies. And I'm going to see if I can salvage this drive, because it has all the drivers and the software for those cards on it, because that was the boot drive. So the second drive with the games on it, there's no reason to leave it in there. It has nothing of any importance on there, and the last driver was empty. So yeah, so these are going to stay out like that, but I did put everything back in it, and she is ready for the next part of her life. I'm going to... My big thing was getting those 32 megabyte sims that are in this. Those things they're extremely rare. Let's phrase it like that. I'm going to do my best to reverse engineer one and see if I can't, at the very least, make a copy of it, or find a way to modify a normal sim to work in these things. And now that I have a working 32 meg one, I have a chance now. But it is just a thing of beauty. But that's it for now. Fat Guy with Old Computers signing off for today.